Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So first, before we begin with today's topic, I would like to address that I've been moving to a new house. Actually, I'm in the new house right now. So you can see that the setup is not ideal. It's not like the previous videos. So I apologize for that. Also, I'm missing a door there. There's no door for now. It's going to be like this. So if it is too distracting, let me know in the comments down below and I'll probably put a curtain just to hide that section there. All right, so move on to today's topic. I'm going to talk about Flux prompting. A lot of people say that the way that Flux is, it's quite hard to get the actual image because of the prompt. You need to have a very specific prompt. You may have seen Reddit's talking about how you cannot put comma separated prompts like one girl, anime, blonde, and then all of those are separated by commas. Instead, you need actual text, you need complete phrases, sentences just to get a good prompt. So as you can see on the screen here, I have a prompt. If you like to get these type of images, this is the video for you. Also, if your images are like this, where you have a little bit of deformities, again, this is going to be a video for you. Now, if you're already an expert in prompting or you are a really good prompt engineer and you're able to get images like this, then I don't think you are going to get any benefit watching this video. You can easily skip it. I've already made a video on prompting before. At that time, I talked a little bit in more detail on how ComfyUI was working with those tags, what was happening in the conditioning node. In today's video, I'm not going to go into that much detail. Instead, we are just going to look at the workflow, mainly the clip text encode, and I'm going to talk about how you can optimize your prompt in order to get images that looks like these ones. For the workflow, I'm using the basic workflow. We have the load diffusion model, the dual clip loader, load VAE. Those are pretty standard. If you've watched my previous video, you know that I've been using this workflow for quite a while. I'm also using the clip text encode for Flux. That is because it provides two fields for the prompt. The top one is for the clip L, and then the bottom one is going to be for this T5XXL one. This FP8 does not matter. If you have the FP16, you can put that there. All right. So if you're getting images like these, which is pretty okay, except for this section here, it's mainly because you are typing your prompt like this, a portrait of a woman. And right now you're telling the model to pick from everything that was trained on woman and just make a portrait out of it. So if you really want to get those high quality images like this one, where you can see the skin, the eyes, there's a lot of detail in it. Or if you really want to go above, you can get these type of photographic images as well. And it's all by the prompt. I'm not using any LoRa. I'm not using any fine-tuned version of the Flux model. It is the Flux 1 Dev, the FP8 version. And the only thing that I'm changing is the prompt. Let's start with this one. I have my seed as fixed. I will also be sharing the workflows, so if you can just drag the images inside of ComfyUI if you need any of the settings from the workflow here. So just putting it as a portrait of a woman, we get this type of image. Now, if you add a little bit more detail to that woman, let's say you say 25 years old woman, and this time when you click on QPrompt, this is the image that we get. And the style is basically coming from the top one here. I have the anime style drawing. That's basically where the style is coming. Let's actually remove the style and we can just copy everything there. And let's do one more. Now this is pretty good. You can see that the 25 years old is coming out. We have the stylish hair, we have the clothes there, we have that V-neck also showing. So if you really want to get a good image, adding the age of your subject will influence that final image. All right, so now we have a realistic, was probably trying to generate a necklace, but there was nothing in that necklace there. So that, I think, just generating a new seed will probably fix it, or we can add to the prompt. But we can see in the face now we have a little bit more detail in it, but we can do better. So we can go back, and right now we have 25 years old woman. We can also add the ethnicity to this section here. Let's say we do a 25 years old. I think this will have to go behind the old. So it's going to be like this, 25 years old African woman. Let's give this one a go. Oh, by the way, there's a window here and we don't have curtains right now. So that's why you're seeing the webcam a little bit washed out. So now we can see that we have a person with dark skin tone, also have curly ears, which is usually associated with African woman. You can also do American-African, you can do Japanese, you can do Chinese, you can do all of that in this here. Just replace this section here. Now, aside from that, you can also describe the features that you want to see. I already have one here. This is not the right one, this one here. So in this one, I went a little bit more. I have 25 years old, I have cold eyes, and this is giving the blue in the eye. Usually when you say hot, it's associated with red, and then when you say cold, it's associated with blue. In photography at least, we have glossy skin, no makeup, we have skin pose, we have texture clearly visible in focus, and that is what we get here. Let's try to do from a different location. So this time I've changed African to American. Maybe it's having difficulty generating the blue eyes for African women. So even with this, it's quite short. Like you can't come up with this prompt. We are still getting really good image. That's why the Flux model is really good at generating these close-up portrait of people. It also good at generating landscape. I will show you that in the next section. Okay, so I'm not going to call this blue, but you get the point there. You can keep on adding. Let me show you the example for that monochrome photography. And I think I need to copy this prompt into a notepad here. This is the prompt. So actually, yeah, the scroll bar is still there. So it's still scrolling. At the top, I have a description of what I'm looking for. And then we have this. Of course, the monochrome is coming from this monochromatic frame. And then we have a description for the complexion, skin texture, the eyes, the brows, cheekbone, jawline, and neck. And then we have the hair expression at the end. Now, of course, I did not come up with this prompt myself. I just used LLM to generate the prompt for me. So right now on this machine, I do not have ChatGPT. If you have ChatGPT, you can use that. Otherwise, you can use Copilot. I have Copilot on this one. So it's basically the same thing. It's ChatGPT 4. And my prompt was write a description of a photo, portrait of a woman in as much detail as possible, focusing on the skin textures and features. I wanted that. And of course, it gave me all of this. You can also modify this prompt. You can use ChatGPT. I think that's going to be the best. But as you can see, even this long, like almost 1 page length prompt worked. And I did not notice any difference in the time. I think I still have everything here. This is number 2. Yes. So it's basically the 3rd generation I've done. This is where I've started. This is the first one where it basically loaded the model, and you can see that on a NVIDIA RTX 4070 Ti, it took 33 seconds to generate the first image. This is the second one, again, same time. And then the third time, it probably took a little bit longer because of the clip text had to encode that massive paragraph, like basically full page text. So it's 37. When you change the text back to like something simple, it goes back to 33, 34, and you can see it's pretty consistent. Now next, let's go back to this last image that we generated. And now I'm going to add elements in the background as well. So this was just the subject. You can describe the foreground if you have any, like if your subject is the middle ground, and then you have foreground, middle ground, and then the background, you can describe that foreground too. Maybe we can say a photo frame. So this would be an example of describing like the foreground. If you have bushes, if you're trying to do a more complex scene, like bushes in the foreground, and then we have like the character in the middle ground, and then we have some background, you can do it like this. So foreground, subject, and then you can add the background too. Now, if you don't want to come up with these texts yourself, one example I've already given you is to use existing LLM. So those would be those online features that we have, ChatGPT, Copilot. Otherwise, you can also install LLMs inside of ComfyUI. You can go into the manager, custom nodes, the top here, just search for LLM, and there are a couple of LLM that you can use. I think we also have Ulama. Now, there are a couple of nodes here which says ComfyUI Ulama. Maybe this would work. So let's give this one a try. Basically, it says describe the image shortly, and this it's using the LLava to describe the image. And you can get a prompt like this. I think it should, if we change the model, you should be able to generate from just text as well. But there are those examples. You'll of course need the RAM and VRAM depending on which model you are using. All right, so we can see that now we have that frame, we have the portrait, we also have the lighting, studio lighting shining from the back, and it's clearly here. So if you're able to describe your subject, the foreground, background, the lighting condition, if you can go and describe the clothes that they are wearing, whether they are wearing makeup or no makeup, all of that is going to affect your final generation. But that's mainly for people. Let's focus on landscape. I've just changed the clip text encode to say a beautiful landscape. So you will see a similar pattern here, that if your prompt is generic, you are going to get one of the generic images from Flux. Okay, so this almost looks like Windows XP wallpaper. Yeah, almost similar ones, right? But now let's actually try to use the Copilot. And so again, even though I've said a single paragraph, it just feels like Copilot is not able to follow those prompts to the letter as ChatGPT is able to do it. But anyways, copying this into the prompt, let's generate and see what we get. And just in case you're curious what the prompt is, this is the title, came up with the title, and then we have different, I guess, different side, different topics of it, invitation as well. Okay, and this is the image that we get. And you can of course add the style that you want to it. So if you want a fantasy, anime, you can do all of that. Now there's of course LoRa's. You can use LoRa's. The node is specific to just style your image, so you can use that as well. And this technique here of just getting an LLM to generate your prompt and then just copy and paste it there will work on any web UI. So if you have Focus, you have Stable Diffusion Forge. I believe Stable Diffusion Forge can also do Flux now. There was an update where it's able to generate images using Flux. Last time I checked, I believe it was last week, it cannot do ControlNet, IP adapter. I did not try the LoRa's, but it cannot do those yet, but it can generate images just from a text prompt. So you can use that inside there as well. And people complaining that you need to come up with really good prompt in order to generate images. It's not really true, because I can say I think I will have to change the resolution for this text because I'm trying to generate something on the left and something on the right. And as you can see, it's simple. The only descriptive part here is that I have on the left here, then on the right side here. That's it. I'm pretty sure it should be able to generate something like this. There you have it. We have Batman on the left side and then Superman is on the right side. It added this blur. This is in most of the images I've seen, like even not these ones, but you can see, right, we have blurring background here. We have here as well. We have this blur. If you don't want that, you can prompt it to have something in the background that is still in the focus. Okay, so I hope this video showed you that you don't really need a good prompt as long as you're able to describe what you need. And like I mentioned, this video is nothing new. It's just that when using Flux, everything that you've learned for SD 1.5, SD 2.0, 2.1, and SDXL comes into play more here. The Flux clips really like those descriptive tags. So if you can come up with those descriptive tags on your own, you can paste it there. You are going to get really good, amazing images. All right, thank you for watching. If you like this video, like it. You'll probably get a pop-up to watch another one if you want to. And if you have not subscribed, click on the subscribe button. It helps the channel. Thank you to all. I will see you in the next one.